Hello, everyone. I'm back with some new hair and just got done crying. Second time in a row. And it takes a lot to make a man cry. And I do identify as a man in the soul. But I'll get into the reasons why I was crying. I was the specifics why I was crying. Don't feel bad for me. I'm sick of that. But just take me as crying as something um, actually dangerous and people should actually look out for. Because I don't cry like as like a typical person would. I cry like when I'm severely frustrated and I want to fucking kill you, bitch. And I can't do that because the people who made me cry were my family. I cried yesterday because of my mom, and then I cried today because of my sister. And the premise of them was them not understanding and having a choice to understand, and they choose not to. And it's frustrating coming from an understanding person myself, and constantly figures out why things happen, and easy to talk to, believe it or not. And when the people that you live with are not like that are not easy to talk to, that get easily offended, easily hurt, they yell all the time, and they don't see your side, it's frustrating, especially if they don't want to explain themselves. So I decided to watch a video that is called 13 Signs of a Mentally Ill Family. Now, I wasn't going to record because I don't like things like this for me to even be out there, because I don't like to admit the fact that I even have family like this or have people around me, because I'm so quick to actually cut bitches out of my life because they don't live with me. They're not like hard to get away from, and they're rude people, so I'm gonna cut them off. But when those kind of people that are disgusting, that doesn't go by your views, who are just ugly individuals inside and out, it's hard to get away, especially when you live with them legally. So, who likes my new hair? Nobody in my family said I like my new hair. My hair, and the problem yesterday with my mom was about getting my hair done. So, but I know I look good. But I was just, I'm just like always tired, always exhausted from dealing with bullshit like this. And now I'm gonna have another day of puffy eyes, not of yet, because I just got done crying. Because of these family, you know, like if I had a younger sister or a daughter, I would not be treating them like this. But that goes for every other person who also has this problem, right? It's not only me who goes through this, you know. And all I can do is not like trying to always figure out why they're doing this. They're always trying to have a conversation. I just need to do is not become like them and become hateful and disgusting at myself. And to believe it or not, the only reason why I haven't done that is because of my future career and the way I look. Because if I was ugly like they are, like, and hated myself, I would. Oh, I don't know. Because I had like different experiences. But if I had the same exact experiences and I was ugly, probably not. But if I had different experiences, yes, which they have. But just because you have a different experience than me doesn't mean you have to be rude and not even have a conversation. And you're like 30 years older than me or older. But so these are 13 signs of a mentally ill family. So we're gonna hear this guy out. Let's go. Let's see if we got like all 13.
They bond with certain members of the family. They create coalitions. And so some families are closed units, not open to outsiders, suspicious of strangers, rejecting, and exclusive or exclusionary, xenophobic, and paranoid. And other types of pathological families are exactly the opposite: open, permissive, promiscuous. Both types of families are sick. These are two.
So, um, that's one sign, as he said, is having a family that accepts everyone, or not like I wouldn't say a family, I would just say the people in my house, specifically one person, who accepts any type of strangers to sleep over, to be around her children, anything. God, thank the Lord, I was never sexually assaulted or raped. But those things could happen because of my mom being so welcome to have anyone coming in her house. I remember when I said I had my sister's boyfriend was welcome. Well, I wouldn't say welcome, but it was just like he saw the signs of he can like stay in our house for over 4 years, and he took it. And I forgot like what is it called when like there's like I feel like no, not it's like a word for people who like stay in people's house and never gets out unless they choose to go. It's like a word for that. It can be like an apartment and then they like find every reason to stay in there and then they don't get arrested because, you know, that's exactly what he was. So my mom accepted that. I told my mom like everything he's done to like everyone and she didn't give a fuck. My uncle came in here, open arms. He was supposed to leave. Like he was only supposed to stay over our house for like 5 months. And it's been 5 years. And then a bunch of other things as well. Like a bunch of other people that, you know, they haven't like slept over. Like, I mean, like, I'm talking about like people who come into my house and just are allowed to do whatever they want, essentially. Whether it be staying here for over like 4 years or 5 years, or just doing what they want and like, basically. And, people might see that as welcoming. That's not. Because when people you don't know or strangers you don't know or family you haven't seen in like, I don't know, 5 years come over to live with you, obviously that's exhausting, and that's exactly what happened to me. And you're probably like, you talk about murder all the time. Why didn't you kill these people? Now, I know this might sound like graphic, but the only reason why I haven't killed my family is because it will ruin ruin everything that I'm trying to build for myself. If it was, I've always said this, and you're probably like, damn, you're very harsh. No, because these people are very, very, very mentally, almost used to be abusive and mental toward me when I ever since I was like, I don't know, little. But when I moved to here, which was not that long ago, well, yeah, it was in 2017 when I moved here, everything changed. And then, you know, I was getting abused by my sisters and mental abuse. But now, since I'm older and they are not allowed to put their hands on me anymore, because I'm like bigger, well, not bigger, I'm just bigger. So they just pick on me mentally. So that's why. So don't sit there and act like, oh, you're like, why would you say that about your fucking family? As I said before, just because they're your family doesn't mean shit, okay? Some cases that turn out to be famous serial killers, when they were younger, they were raped by their dad, they were touched by their uncles, touched by their sisters, brothers, cousins, because they were family, of course. So don't even do that, okay? I don't even see these bitches as family. I don't even like the word family, because what does it mean? Okay, because it's not loving, it's not helpful, and it's not nothing. So that's one, so he basically was like, this is a toxic family. So if your family like doesn't allow anyone in, it doesn't allow you to like be yourself or like go out or go to the park with your friends, that is toxic. Or your family who just allows anything to happen in your house and allows you to do whatever you want, which is also toxic. Or whatever, let other people dictate in your like living situation. Like they're free to come in and out, and your family doesn't have nothing to say about that. Like, even though, anyways,
They become suspicious and paranoid.
We're Phoenix.
Okay, keep on clicking the numbers, which changes to a segment of the video, which I do a lot, actually.
Energy, a family-owned oil company focused on unleashing American oil from North Dakota and Montana.
Suspicious and paranoid when they're faced with positive things, positive events. Xenophobic and paranoid and other types of pathological families are exactly the opposite. Open, permissive, promiscuous. Vicious, virulent civil war. Or actionistic. They're pseudo-hostile or pseudo-mutual. Helpful people, interactions, socializing, and so on and so forth. This family should never be 100% permeable or 100% impermeable. Number two, these kind of families, pathological families, mentally ill families, emphasize appearances, not substance. They are perfectionistic. They are pseudo-hostile or pseudo-mutual. They present to the world a facade of love and care and compassion and solidarity, while inward, inside, what's really happening is a kind of pernicious virulence.
Yeah, this actually does happen, right? This actually does happen. I mean, more my mom does it than like anyone else, like in my house, which I'm only talking about in my house. There's only a problem in this house. Like she'll act like a certain way or act over friendly around like talking about me and stuff like that. When she'll be on the phone with her coworkers, like we did not just get in an argument. She'll be like, "Hey, like this is my daughter." Like it just and that's not okay. Like for real, right? Especially if she doesn't want to talk about it. But no. And then when it comes to my sister, who made me cry because I was frustrated, not because I'm sad and any of that. Well, I was sad. I'm only caring about myself. Like people, when I say that, people are like, "Wow, you're like wow," like they think that I'm like I don't know. I look like a lion. They think I'm too prideful. But you have to think, why is somebody like this? A reason why I'm like that now, which I only care about myself, and people see that as bad, it's because there was a time where I didn't care about myself, and that. Well, it was not even that long ago, and I allowed family and other people run over me and abuse me and do whatever they want. And now that I'm prideful and I love myself, why did I stop? No, I don't like saying I love myself because this gets too personal. I like really do enjoy everything about me, and everything. Now it's a problem, and that's what my family thinks as well, and other people, which is weird. But like, yeah. And then when my sister, like, when we're out in public, she'll act, like, really rude to me. And I'm not going to scream and have an argument in public with my sister. But this happens a lot. Like, this actually does. She'll just say the most random, like rude-ass shit to me. And I'm not allowed to say anything. And if the moment I do say something, my mom gets upset and she yells at me. Even though she just called me a bum-ass bitch in front of you. But, whatever.
Violent civil war. Or they present to the world a facade of hostility, rejection, suspicion, paranoia, xenophobia, hatred, etc., etc. So pseudo-hostility and pseudo-mutuality, I recommend that you watch the relevant video. But these families are preoccupied with the way they appear to others, to neighbors, to peers, to teachers, to social workers, in church, in the community, etc., etc. Preoccupation with appearance is so extreme that there is a total neglect of real substantive dynamics. And there is an emphasis on never getting it wrong. Infallibility, perfectionism, top marks, 9.5 is not enough. It should be always be 10. So this is a second sign of a dysfunctional family. The third sign, out of 13, yes, the magic number. This kind of family provides a selective interface between internal and external realities. Now, hold your horses. All families do this. All families serve as membranes. They let in, as I said, certain data, certain people, and they keep others out for a variety of reasons, for example, a value system. But the mentally ill family, the interface that the mentally ill family provides is rigid, uncompromising, punitive, and therefore separates internal reality from external reality to the point that they can never be seamlessly integrated. Does this remind you of something? Right you are. The mentally ill family engages in rampant splitting. Some people are all good, others are all bad. Some situations should always be avoided, some sought after. Some vocations, avocations, and occupations are disgusting, repulsive, low brow, and should best be shunned. Others should be pursued because they're prestigious or whatever. So it's always either or, black and white, good and evil. The mentally ill family, exactly like the mentally ill individual in some personality disorders, engages in splitting. And splitting is a defense mechanism. The mentally ill family serves as a defense mechanism writ large.
I don't know what that means. I thought he meant. I don't know. I don't know what that means. So
defense mechanism is internalized, introjected by its members via the parental figures. It becomes an integrated or integral part of the process of social.
It's to me like because you said like parent, parent figures. So like they like split up the children, which if he is saying that, that actually does happen. Like my mom, you know, she holds a standard for everyone, her children different. Like I asked her one time, like a couple times, like, who do you love more when I was younger? And she was like, I love all you guys the same. But the way that she, you know, talks to us and communicates us on the same problem, let's say there's like a disagreement. Like my older sister, like middle older sister, like she's the middle, like, yeah, sister. She treats her completely different, like when confrontation than me, or like others. But like I'm like the second worst. The worst that like with confrontation is probably my older sister, Zaira. And when I realized like growing up that like my mom would treat like my older sister like really terribly, like I was defending her. Like I started to defend her. And ever since I realized that my mom is like doesn't hold us to the same standard, I get upset, and I feel like she did realize that. And that's why like I'm the second of like who gets like her wrath, which is not nice. Because, you know, I do stand up for things. Well, I'm like all of my siblings, I'm like the main one who stands up for like what is wrong and what is right, like actually what's wrong, actually what is right. Rather than my mom, or like I mean, rather than any of my other sisters, like if there was a problem, like they're not gonna speak up, and they're all older than me. So I guess that's like another problem where my mom like kind of targets me as well, like for her anger, because she knows that maybe I'm the only one who's gonna defend myself, and she feels more better to come at me than any of my sisters or she just doesn't like me, which is clearly looking that way after what was, you know, the days leading up to today and yesterday. And I really kind of don't want to post this because it makes me look like I'm in a bad situation, which I am. Like I'm not gonna say I'm not, but it's like it looks like I'm a kind of person that is like mentally ill, which I know that kind of girl. How are you not mentally ill? You sound mentally ill all the time. No, but like I don't want to sound like the people who like are actually like they're like they got like depression or like got family issues. I don't want to sound like them kind of people because I'm not. Because what's different about me and them is that I actually don't give a fuck about any of my family, and I stopped caring like I don't know, like 5 years ago, like when I was younger. Like there was a point in me when I just like I was crying, and then all of a sudden I started smiling like a joker, like because I was like, why the fuck am I doing this? Like I actually don't give a fuck. So the problem is, and why I cried 2 times, is because I put on this facade / manipulating, like I care, so I don't have to deal with that backlash or me actually showing them who I truly am, which is, since I don't care about you, I will not even realize your existence. And I know that might sound like, girl, that's not that bad, but like I really like, if I don't like you, like I will straight up like not even know that you're there, and it gets like, and I might do a couple other things, but I can't show that to them, which I tried, because they live in the same house to me, and I have to constantly communicate with them. So it's not like I can like, you know, shun them away and stuff. It'll be different if I lived in a completely other house. It will be different. I will never speak to them again if I manage to have that God saving gift, but God's not real, because if God was real, he would never put me through this. But anyways, so yeah, what I think I am gonna put out this video because I've talked about things like similar to this, but I'm not, you know, I'm good, right? I'm not that like, I'm not mentally ill. Like I've already been depressed. It's just like the same thing over and over again, so you just don't have an emotion towards it anymore. But then you also get frustrated because it's just like, how many times do I have to go through this over and over again, you know, just to be like heard or getting an understanding. Anyways.
Socialization and acculturation, because parents are usually socialization agents. They represent society to the children. Number 4, the mentally ill family enforces a narrative. The narrative could be totally delusional, divorced from reality, paranoid, narcissistic, crazy, psychopathic, borderline narrative. It could be anything. It could be utterly insane, but it is rigidly and aggressively enforced. And the narrative is coupled with sanctions. And
So I like had this issue before. Like when my dad, when he got out of prison, like he was like abusing us. Not like the way like fathers, like he wouldn't like get up and just like hit us and punch us, because but like he would obviously whoop us. It would, my sisters, and like hurt us, but like there was always like a good, and I wouldn't say good enough, but there was always a reason to that he would like manipulate. But I wouldn't like he doesn't do that now, and he stopped doing that because I have a young brother. He don't like do that to him because he realized I was wrong, and he stopped doing that, and he's apologized, right? So that's why, I somewhat kind of do care about my dad, okay? Because he can say when he's wrong, and he can admit when he's wrong, and he gives me money, rather than anyone else in my family who's been doing the same thing over and over again for over 18 years. I almost said 17, but probably ever since I was like a fucking newborn bitch. Like, but yeah, my dad, the narrative he would put like was a Christian household, and I constantly have to be obedient. If I yawned and didn't say excuse me, like he'll knock me on my forehead, which was pretty scary because my dad's like he was a large guy, like because I was like short, and then he will whip us, and it will either be in like in a dark room, and I just had my bare ass out, like it was not even like any like privacy when it came to that, or or he'll just put me in a dark room. It was just not okay. And I remember having, and I still kind of have them dreams where I'm like run away from my dad because like he was crazy, But like he's like he did apologize to me and shit like that when I got older, which is good. But it wasn't okay what he did. And what did my mom do? Nothing. That's what she's always done, nothing. Like my mom is actually like very neglectful. I don't want to get too into it because I might be a little ashamed, even though it has nothing to do with me. But I'm ashamed for her because I'm ashamed that kind of person is my parent. And she did, but yeah, my mom is very neglectful. Like there was times where like you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, whatever neglectful means, I know what that means. She was that, yeah. So yeah, since she's neglectful, she didn't do anything, right? And I was before thinking like she used to work like a job that was very hectic, like maybe like she couldn't because she had a job. No, where she was working in our house or not, she saw what needed to be done and she didn't do it. She didn't protect us from our dad, and she didn't protect us from anyone who's ever done harm to us or herself, and that's terrible. When me and my sister were getting, like me and my twin sister were getting into brutal fights that involved like blood and like a bald spot on my head, brutal fights, like we were like 9 or 10, and she didn't do it, and she'll be in the next room, and we'll constantly like I remember we used to fight like every day, and people like yeah siblings fight, but not like that, and it can just be over dumb reason, and we just get into a brawl out on the floor. And my mom didn't do anything, did not stop one fight at all. One fight. And I remember I recently got into a fight with my sister, like, I don't know, a year ago. Because she's just very, she pushes me. And usually I hold back, because before I wouldn't. Like, I would just fucking, Then I would get the one, and I'll be in trouble as well. When we get into those fights, like, I would be the one. Even though she was, like, my sister's bigger than me, right? So I don't know how, like, she was, like, I don't know, 150 pounds more than me during those times. But, yeah, my mom didn't do anything. And, yeah, the recent fight we had, which was a year ago, like, she pushes me, then I, like, fucking jump on her and, like, fucking pull out her hair and stuff. And then our mom comes home, And she doesn't even talk about the fight. She doesn't even say, y'all shouldn't still be doing that. That's utterly unacceptable. Don't do that to each other. What was the problem? She literally says, oh, y'all got into a fight? Okay. What do you want to eat? That's not okay. I wouldn't do that to my children. Even though if there was a possibility, which was never going to be a possibility, that I don't like my children, like she doesn't, like, or me in particular, I wouldn't let my children fight or having the idea that they fought and not have a conversation with them. Or when we were younger, we were fighting, fighting in our room, and then gets down to the fucking living room. And she will be in her room the whole entire time. Or she'll go downstairs and walk right past us. And we were young, we were 9, 10, 11, fighting each other. And then my older sister gets involved, and then she feels a hatred towards me. And that's when my sister and then my older sister started mentally and physically, but mainly my bigger sister abusing me, because she feels because I will call her fat, and since my older sister's fat, I guess she sided with her more, or bonded, because I guess they got bullied, or she got bullied being fat young, so she thought I was the enemy, but I was just defending myself. So she would I remember, oh my god, now I'm saying, I remember where I didn't want to get my hair straightened because I was bullied about having in my own house that my own hair was severely damaged, which it was. So I didn't want to straighten my hair. By that same old person who was bullying me, she sat me down aggressively and was trying to straighten my hair, and she burned me. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I get up, and then she literally throws me to the floor, puts me in a headlock, and then my twin sister, who claims she cares about me, is just standing there in the doorway like this while this is happening, knowing that even though I get in fights, I'm never gonna just stand there while my older sister or whoever is putting her in a chokehold, and I literally, without gonna explain what I did after, but I didn't do anything to them because I didn't know how to speak up or really really have that voice like I do now, which they don't do that shit now. Well, my older sister doesn't. But yeah, I remember I literally went to her mom, was she literally did this to me, and she was 22 and I was 11 years old, and my mom was didn't even give a fuck. Actually, I don't know what she said, but I know she didn't say anything. Don't put your hands on her, or just very neglectful. So yeah.
Punitive measures. You adhere to the narrative. You pledge allegiance to the narrative, time and again, if you are a member of such a family. Actually, adherence to the common narrative of the family is the main loyalty test. And these kinds of families engage in loyalty testing time and again. Of course, this is reminiscent of another type of social organization, the cult. Mentally ill families are cultish in the sense that it's we against the world, us against them. There is a very prominent perception and conception of the other and the otherness of the other. Number 5, mentally ill families reinforce emerging roles and competitive hierarchies. Each member of these families is allocated a role. You are going to be the fixer. You are going to be the healer. You are going to be the bad boy. You are going to be the incorrigible slut. You, etc. You're going to be the scapegoat. You're going to be the golden child. These are all known as emergent roles.
Yeah, definitely had that. My middle sister, which is technically her first child, because my older sister, my dad had an affair with a girl, but my mom didn't know my dad at the time. But when she met my dad, my older sister was 2 years old, so she took care of my older sister. So, but that's not that's not her blood related daughter. But since I'll just call her my middle sister because she's the middle child, but she's technically her firstborn. And since my sister Dayla, she's very manipulative, and she knows this. Since she's skinny, she has buck teeth and glasses, and she's quiet, soft-spoken, she doesn't get into fights. People, my mom doesn't ask her to do anything. My mom doesn't tell her to take out the trash or scream at her for her mistakes, because she painted this narrative that she can never do no wrong. rather than the children that she never raised. Now, the reason why this is because my mom believes that she has like severe mental problems, that she has really bad anxiety. It's all a lie. Okay? I know this. If you have really bad anxiety, why are you doing A, B, C, and D? Right? Why are you looking like that? So I'm joking. You know, like, this is all a lie. My older sister, like, she was, like, when she was living here not so long ago, my mom always pressed her to get a job, you know. But meanwhile, my sister, who's over the age of 18, never got a job, never was pressed to have a job because she has a mental disorder, which is not true. She doesn't have it. Like, obviously there are signs. There's no signs with that. Okay? And then also my sis, since, like, she's seen as, oh, protect her, or whatever the case may be, she doesn't have to do anything. I have a core memory of, so everyone's very neglectful in this house, besides me, of course, because I'm the only one who has that type of gene that is a brain. So my sister, she had this bunny rabbit, right? She got this bunny rabbit from her friend, never took care of it. I remember when I was young, like, I was like, I don't know, like 13 or 12. And I remember, like, walking into, like, our, like, room, like, a separate bedroom that nobody lived in at the time. Now my uncle does, because that's where she'll be at. Or the rabbit, which was a girl. I remember walking in and seeing her starving. And as a child, like, I realized that why is she not taking care of her rabbit? So I would constantly feed that. And then I also had a rabbit named Wyatt. And I put them together, and he made her pregnant. So they had babies, right? And these babies, there was just something wrong with them. Where I guess the mother was young. Like, I guess, yeah. The girl rabbit was young. So I don't think she knew how to be a mother, because she wasn't allowing the rabbits to breastfeed. Yeah. So I remember, like, every day, because she wasn't going to do it, feeding her and also feeding the newborn babies and putting them, like, making sure, like, they stay on there and get their milk. And then they, like, I remember a couple of them died. I don't know why. And they were just, like, a bunch of dead babies. And nobody cleaned up the bodies. Until I had to say something about it. I was like, because I don't know, I guess I was traumatized. I didn't want to, because I was just walking, I'm like, oh my god, why is because when rabbits die, they're, like, stiff. Like, they go stiff, like nothing. Like, the limbs don't, like, fall down like a human. Like, when my rabbit died, he was stiff. Like, they're just stiff. Like, they're just stiff as fuck. So I knew something was wrong, and I just didn't want to see it. But yeah, obviously my sister did not take care of any animals that we ever owned, but specifically that rabbit. But she died as well. But her babies died, and nobody, like, cleaned up in the cage until I was like, yo, can you get this shit up? It's traumatizing. But yeah. And then we have a dog named Ginger, and she doesn't take care of her either. I have to do it. Or my sister does. She can go, because when I would be at school, I wouldn't know what was going on until I was out. I'm out of school officially. And then, like, this is summer, then I realized that my sister never fed our dog, never, like, gave her fresh water, never took her out. And then when she did, it will be 2 times a day. And a dog needs to be taken, like, out, like, every hour. Or in her case. So when I realized this summer, or literally, like, not even that long ago, this year, summer, like, a month ago, I realized, like, she doesn't take care of our dog. And that's why I was like, damn, like, nobody's changing. Like, are we not evolving as a family? My mom's still going to be neglectful. My sister's going to keep on, like, being rude and abusive. And then my older sister, like, she's out of the house, so we don't really have that problem no more. The one who put me in a headlock, no, we don't have that, because I had a conversation with her and she doesn't do that. But there's still times we get in arguments, but not as much as we used to. And then my sister, who's so-called mentally ill, she's neglectful to her animals, and she's also neglectful to herself in some ways. Like, she reeks, like she actually stinks, and that's not a sign of that's just like her not wanting to take care of herself at all. I don't even think she brushes her teeth, but that's not like, you're probably like, oh, like maybe she doesn't. No, she actually doesn't take. She be in her room all day. Hygiene terrible. She doesn't want to get a job. She has gotten a job. She quit her own job because she doesn't like standing, because she was a cashier worker. It's ridiculous. So I know what mentally ill looks like. It's all a fix so she can stay in the house and not do anything. So yeah, I literally just had a conversation. I was like, our dog is getting old, like she's losing her hearing, like, and she's just peeing and pooping all over the place. There was not too long ago, she was just peeing and pooping on her carpet, and nobody was doing anything about it until I stepped out. I was like, she can't be peeing and pooping on her carpet, because it's gonna. First of all, I stepped in shit like 5 times. That means nobody was taking her out and nobody was doing anything to her. But she's been peeing and pooping a lot, and it's on our carpet and it's gonna stain. So I literally had to move her downstairs so she can pee or poop, whatever, on marble, which is not carpet. And I also wanted to get a doggy gate and doggy pads for her. And my mom, since she's also neglectful, she doesn't want to get that. And I will make her like train to like pee or not go upstairs, so she can only go upstairs to pee and poop. But yeah, my sister, she sleeps all day. In the night, she's just like a boy. Like, she's literally just like a boy. She thinks she's trans too. No comment. But she literally sleeps all day, does not take care of the dog, or doesn't let her out, right? So she shits and pees everywhere. It's ridiculous. And it's like, I'm seeing the sign, like I have. Just like her having a sole responsibility. And if she didn't, she should have never, And our dog, our dog named Ginger, she was in her room until she started to pee and poop in her room. So she kicked her out of the hallway and never let her out. Because she would let her out, but I guess she out of sight, out of mind. She doesn't take care of her. She doesn't see her.
Mentally ill families allocate emergent roles exactly like healthy families. The allocation of emergent roles is common, is a normal process in all families. But in mentally ill families,
Do you have a car? Do you have a clean driving record? Did you know you can pay as low as $39?
the emergent roles mismatch the children. So the wrong child is usually chosen for the role, and then the role is enforced, if necessary, by violence. This creates competition.
Okay, yeah, those are the roles. So my older sister, like, she's supposed to be like she was like the second mom. Like, she'll cook for us, and she'll break up the fights. Well, not back in. Well, she used to break. Yeah, she broke up the fight, and she would blame me for it. But she broke it up, and then like she'll break up our arguments, right? So she'll kind of be like the second mom. My sister, she just is by herself, is the quiet one. Then the sister that I share a room with, she is like the one who, she like gets her way, like, all the time. And then me, like, I'm seen as hard-headed, and I wouldn't say bad, but like, my mom says, you always say something, when I'm like, deserve to say something. Because I only say something when it comes to me, right? Because I'm gonna, like, you're not gonna sit there and dictate when can I get my hair done, and you're not even paying for it all, or paying for it at all, or dictate what I have to do and when I have to do it when it's nothing to do with you. But yeah, and then also what I'm assigned is like, I clean up the house. Now, there was a point in time when our house was severely dirty, and since our mom was neglectful, and she'll let everyone come into our house, and not tell them to clean up. Like, I would be the one, like, at 9 or 10 years old, telling, like, my cousins or, like, an adult to clean up after themselves in her house, because she'll just let them do whatever they want. And then I was seen as, like, being argumentative and stuff like that, and getting sent to my room for you not being a role model. I don't even know. So yeah, there was times where my house, or maybe even still today, like, not as much as it used to be, but, like, really dirty. And I remember, like, cleaning up my house top to bottom at 11 years old, no help, because of how dirty it is. Now I have, like, severe OCD. Disorder alert. Don't feel bad for me. Stop. Don't feel bad for me. Don't feel bad for me. But yeah, I got really bad OCD. When it comes to, like, my room or, like, anything. Essentially. Because of that. Because of me constantly have to clean up after people. And I still do. Because I know if I don't clean up this house, then it's not going to get cleaned. And I don't like to live like that. So, and my mom, like, she expects me to do it, actually. You know, she doesn't, like, tell me to clean up. Because she's neglectful. Like, she doesn't tell nobody exactly what to do. She just gets mad when nobody does it. So people do it. To clean up the house. Right? And then I asked her, like, Mom, why you don't tell any of the people who live here to help me? And she's like, I'll tell them. And then she never does. So.
Internal competition is some of the members of the family.
I feel like a mother should be cleaning up the house, or, like, a father, or, like, some type of parent, right? A child at 11 years old shouldn't be, like, cleaning the fucking whole entire house by myself, like, mopping everything. Like, on top of taking care of the animals, like, when I was young, like, it was ridiculous.
Aim to transition from one role to another, to usurp someone else's role. So there are competitive hierarchies in these families, and there are arbiters, decision makers, judges, if you wish. The whole family functions like an extended court. And when Franz Kafka, wrote his famous book, The Trial, it might as well be seen as an allegory of such a family, or to such a family. There are father and mother who are the judges, or maybe only father, or maybe only mother. They're the judges, and the children compete and enlist in constant kind of jousting in an attempt to replace each other as the favorite, or the golden child, or whatever. Let me count, 1, 2, 3, number 6. The family, the mentally ill family, places an emphasis on the ambient, on the implicit, on the hidden text, on the unspoken, on the unthought known. It's a concept which was first described by Bolas, B-O-L-A-S. This kind of family does not verbalize. More things go unspoken of than spoken of.
Exactly. Nobody speaks up. Like, nobody talks or has conversation. So, and I always try, like, more than ever, like, me growing up, like I'm trying to, like, have a conversation, like, okay, why you don't do this? Why you don't like this? Like, why? And everyone in this house, the adults, anyone, or, by the way, are all older than me. I'm the youngest. Never wants to have a conversation, or never wants to speak on anything. Like, when me and my sister fought, like, we were supposed to, like, have a conversation, like, yo, we shouldn't be, like, you know, but no one's open to it. No one, I was crying in front of my mom, doesn't do anything. She's a piece of shit. But I literally was like, Mom, are you ready to have this conversation? And she acted like a child. Today I asked her, she was like, I'm not ready, and I'll talk. And I was like, when are you going to talk to me? She's like, I don't know. And I was like, well, not talk to me, but, like, have a conversation. And I was like, okay, when you're ready, you're going to come to me and have a conversation? I was like, why the fuck am I sounding like the mother? Which I've always have, you know? It's ridiculous. So, yeah.
Everything is in the air, atmospheric. You have to guess all the time. You have to decipher and decode. Communication is cryptic. It's like there's a cabal running things, like there's some arcane hidden knowledge, a mysterium of sorts. This is this kind of family. It is penumbral. And this kind of family is never overt, never explicit. And it imposes this vow of secrecy on all its members. You should not launder the family's dirty laundry in full view of the neighbors. Sunshine disinfects abuse.
Exactly. My mom, she's a liar. And, you know, my grandmother, which is my mom's mom, doesn't like my dad, which is, I feel like this is everyone's, problem. But, um, so there was times I'll go to my dad's house, even on his birthday, and I was not supposed to tell nobody where I was, or tell my grandmother where I was, or like certain shit like I'm not allowed to tell nobody about, especially her mom, because she thinks that her mom's gonna complain, but like her mom doesn't complain as much as she does, and I don't know where she sees like the amount of badness that I thought I would see on like telling her. I thought like if I told her like she was gonna get so upset and like hit like no, like when I wouldn't say I got kicked out, but like I walked out and then my mom didn't give a fuck at 13 years old, and I was staying at my dad's, and then I went to my grandma's house. Like that's when I realized when she took me in and she said, "If you want to live with me, like you can live with me if you feel like it." And I was like, "No." Um, that's when I was like, "This is all a lie." Like she doesn't. Her mother isn't really like this. My grandmother, she's not that kind of complainer like she thinks. It's all a lie. So she doesn't get seen as a bad person or like seen as a negative light. So, and why I got out the house is because my mom called me a bitch, and I got angry, and she was like, go to your dad. So I was like, okay. So then I just like got the fuck out at 13 years old. And this is when she was Muslim, by the way. Keep that in mind.
These kind of families are highly abusive. There's a lot of coercive abuse and a lot of implicit or ambient abuse, a lot of verbal abuse, and so on and so forth. So to hide this, they block the windows, they close the doors, and they devolve into the basement. They are basement crawlers, these kind of families. The family is in constant darkness and shade. Terrified, as if it were made of vampires, terrified of sunshine and its disinfectant qualities. Number 7, this kind of mentally ill families make use of emotional blackmail, ostracism, shunning or excommunicating members, wayward members, rebel members, defiant members, and as I've mentioned, lots of coercion. And the coercion could be, again, verbalized, non-verbalized. For example, in many of these families, the main instrument of coercion is unmet expectations. The parental figures promulgate their expectations, and if you don't meet these expectations, your punishment is to be ignored, neglected, ostracized, mocked, and so on and so forth. Now, in some of these families, in extremis, the parents don't even verbalize their expectations. They just punish you if you don't meet them. So,
Exactly. Like my mom would scream all the time about some dishes, and the whole house would be dirty as fuck. And she wants her kitchen and then no dishes in the sink. Right? And I don't know, like, and then she'll scream, and she never really told us, like, yo, do this, or she doesn't even tell us to do anything, right? And then she punishes when we don't do it. Like, when I used to have bad grades, like, my mom never ever helped me with my homework because she's neglectful. She never ever, helped me with my homework. Even when I was younger, like 3rd grade, like, never helped me with my homework. And then when I would get bad grades, then she'd be like, I thought you were a straight A student. I'm like, what the fuck? Obviously not. And then, like, when I was a senior, that's when, like, everything mattered the most, right? That's why, And then all of a sudden, then my mom was like, oh, do you need help with your homework? Or, and I obviously like, no, because you obviously are going to get mad if I don't understand certain things. And then, neglectful.
Many of these families, the overriding expectation is mind reading. You have to read the minds of the godlike figures of your parents, or else. There's always an or else. Everything comes with price list and a cost and a punishment, penalty. And everything is transactional. Love is not unconditional. It's doled out in meager portions, and it is subject to performance, but not just any performance. The performance that gratifies the parental figures, the performance that caters to their unfulfilled dreams and fantasies, the performance that makes them look good outside to outsiders. So this is a mentally ill family. Next, all mentally ill families, and there is no exception. I know you're going to be told that there are exceptions. There are no exceptions. All mentally ill families have what I call wrongful intimacies. Wrongful intimacies are sexually and emotionally inappropriate, boundary breaching behaviors, inappropriate and unboundaried behaviors. So, emotional incest, actual incest, parentifying, regarding the child as your substitute spouse, creating coalition with children against the opposing parent, colloquially known as parental alienation. All these happen very often in mentally ill families, sexually and emotionally inappropriate families. Next, the mentally ill family is past-oriented or future-oriented. It is nostalgic. It idealizes the past. It grieves and mourns the bygone era. It focuses on the past as the main venue for learning, personal growth, and personal development. Similarly, it imbues the future with an inordinate weight. Future becomes extremely important via fantasy or compulsive daydreaming or manic planning. So these mentally ill families live in the past or they inhabit the future, but they never reside in the present. Never.
Exactly. Like, again, like my mom, like always worried about what I did back then or what I am going to do in the future. But yeah. Especially when it comes down to school or like, I want to say my old behavior because I never even acted like that. She just over, everything. And the only reason why they think like that is because the reality in the present is going to hurt their soul on why things like that is even going on, which it all ties back to the parents in these families. You made the family. You are the reason why it's this crazy, right? You complain about me having bad grades. You don't ever want to have a meeting with the teacher. You're always busy. You don't help me with my homework. You just never. Then my past, I was young. Like, who do you think I see? I don't even, I mean, I saw it on TV. Like, and that was another problem. Is because, I wasn't even protected from anything. Literally. Watching certain things I shouldn't be watching, or just if my mom heard a curse word, she'll be like, "What is that?" and then walk away. But like, which that made me see all and be a part of all, outside and inside. But I remember I got into my first fight. I didn't I wasn't bruised because I was young. Like, they didn't do anything to me. But like me and my sister, we got in the same fight at the same time. But like other people though, and I remember coming to our room, and she didn't even seem worried that we got into our first fight that she knows of. But whatever.
They're never mindful. They're never content. They're never in the here and now. They're always floating somewhere in the mists of time past. They are what I call archaeological families, or they vanish into the future, and I call these fantastic families or fantasy-oriented families. Mentally ill families are sinks and amplifiers of negative effects. The mentally ill family places much more importance on emotions such as anger, envy, hatred, fear, resentment, criticism, self-destructiveness, defeat, failure, being a loser, etc., etc. There's much more emphasis on these negative effects, negative emotions, and negative experiences. In short, on negativity rather than on positivity and positive psychology. Mentally ill families.
I'm getting really tired. And also, my parting is off. Like, so off. And I remember telling her. But, anyways. I remember, sorry. No, not like funny, but, yeah, okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Process negativity much faster, much better, much more often than anything positive. And even if there is by mistake some penetration or intrusion of positivity into a mentally ill family, it's immediately reframed as something negative. So I give you an example. You come home and you say, Mommy, I just got 9 in the exam out of 10. And Mommy will say, why didn't you get 10? You're inadequate, you're lazy. You could have easily gotten 10.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
How am I going to face my neighbors now? Your teacher, your father. So a positive thing, an accomplishment, a self-esteem building block, something that helps with your self-confidence, self-image. Your mother or your father would be sure to ruin it for you. They would reframe and convert it into negativity. Both the parental figures and the members of the family have no experience at processing positivity. They either catastrophize, and as they say, this positive thing is temporary and is likely to end up badly, or they regard positivity as a form of faking something wrong, deception or self-deception. They become suspicious and paranoid when they're faced with positive things.
Exactly. Like, I can call my mom, like, when she's at work and say something, and she'd be like, is the dishes done? Or, like, why did you even call me? I'm at work. And it was just, and then when she comes back home, she's sleeping and she doesn't want to talk about it right now.
Positive events, positive accomplishments, and of course, positive people. Mentally ill families are negative. Mentally ill families allow for role reversals. Children become the parents of their parents, a process known as parentifying. I have several videos on my channel regarding parentifying. Children are treated as adults, and there are expectations in accordance.
Exactly. Do you not understand? Like, I am a child still into you, right? Like, that's something, like, I couldn't, like, understand. Like, he said it perfectly. I was like, bro, like, I'm not an expert. Yeah, I am, but not in that kind of way. And then you expect me to sit there and just do everything right all the time when I'm not. Like, I'm just a child, just a girl, Fuck you, bitch. Like, honestly, I'm sick of this shit. Like, I'm tired. Like, I honestly wanted to get on Omegle until that happened, and I was like, bitch, I don't fake nothing, so I'm not gonna sit there and fake that there's nothing happened. So I just started to talk about this, but let me just wait till the view.
Or commensurate with such treatment. I call this process adultifying. These are role reversals. The parents are the only adults. Even families that on the surface appear to be very equitable, egalitarian, and compassionate are actually mentally ill families. So when parents consult their children as if their children should have a say because they are like adults, these are mentally ill parents. If the child is given latitude and freedoms which should be absolutely strictly reserved for adults, that's a mentally ill family. If the children are unboundaried, spoiled, pampered, idolized, pedestalized, and so on, that's a mentally ill family. These are all forms of abuse.
Imagine being able to build anything, for any reason, in any style.
Role reversals in mentally ill families.
Okay, but yeah, my mom, she doesn't even let me speak, like, at all.
Very common. And actually,
Notice how I'm saying my mom a lot. Yeah. I know she's a problem, but she doesn't feel like I should say a thing, even when it comes to me. Like, yesterday, I was crying about my hair. So this was the story. So I saved up the appropriate amount of money that'll not look questionable. And, I've been saying this for like 3 weeks. Like no, literally a month ago. Mom, can I get my hair done on the 17th? Yes. Mom, I'm so excited to get my hair done. Do you want to see the reference photo? Yes. When I had my hair straightened, So when I got my hair straightened, I was like, Mom, is this going to interfere about like you paying for my hair? And she said, no. Then literally the day before, which was yesterday, of the 17th, which is today, she says, can't you just wait to the weekend? No, she didn't even say that. She's like, you're not getting your hair done. I was like, why? She's like, you're not. She just repeats the same thing over and over again. I'm like, why? So the acting shit that I posted, I'm not supposed to have my hair in braids, and I'm supposed to have my hair, like, I don't know, not in braids, because I guess you can't do anything with having braids in your hair. So she was like, you have to record them a video with doing this, and this, while your hair is still straightened, so they can see that you're versatile with your hair, which is obviously, I'm not so she literally tells me the day before my appointment is already set. When I got this hair at the hair store, nothing was said about getting your hair done during the weekend. Then I'm in the car, driving back to our house. You can't get your hair done. Like, just manipulating the wrong one, bitch. You're just manipulating the wrong one. So, I got upset because I'm like, it would be different. I literally said this. It would be different if you told me way before any of this. Not the day of. The day before I get my hair done. She's like, you need to reschedule. She was like, I literally paid for all of this, and I'm going to pay for more. And you're not even listening to him. I'm like, Mom, like, this, like, no. Like, I literally said the 17th. And I knew she was going to do some shit like this. Because she did it. She does it before. She doesn't like to keep her word, and she doesn't like to say no. Because she likes to get people's hopes up just to crash them down. This is multiple times. This is like if we're going out somewhere or we're going shopping, literally the day of, she'll be like, no, not anymore, I'm tired. Oh, I'm getting my period tomorrow. Like, she will never say any of this prior. Until the day of, or that day, and then plans have changed. Or until I ask about it, and she gets mad at me when she never tells me. But yeah, I literally said, giving her hints on 17th, I literally 3 days, I literally said, Mom, I'm still going to get my hair done on the 17th. She's like, yes, didn't we have this conversation? Then the day of, she's like, no, you have to get your hair during the weekend. And she was like, why could you get your hair during the weekend? I'm like, I could have said, because I've been waiting for this moment, which happens to be a month and a couple weeks, for the 17th, just not getting done. But obviously she's not going to understand that, so I'm going to say, oh, it's going to be 2 months since I got my hair, like, blue, or in braids, which it hasn't been 2 months, but, like, it would mark 2 months on that day for the braids that I last got it done for it. Anyways, right? And then during the weekend is my dad's birthday. So am I going to get my hair done on, like, no. But she doesn't think of any of that. She just likes to get our hopes up. And he should put that, I don't know if he likes, I don't think he put this on his list, but getting his hopes up, like her children's hopes up, or mine in particular. Because it's not just me, it's like, we're going, so it gets frustrating, because then I can't rely on her. And she gets mad when I don't come to her and I don't talk to her. It's because you either can't say no, you don't know what to say, you don't want to say anything, or you get angry because you don't understand. And it's usually all four, Like yesterday, she screamed at me, speeding up the car, like, and then I'm crying because it's just like, I'm so sick of this shit happening. And obviously didn't do anything. But, I don't expect nobody to have my back other than me. Who's, these bitches are, not reliable, not even your own family. But I was like, so it's not because I was crying, because it was just like, oh, she's my mom. It's like I literally prepared the best manipulator in Pennsylvania, prepared stages, constantly telling her, oh, I can't wait to get my hand braced, just for the day for her to say, well, she thought she was going to say no, right? She gave me half of the money and she expected I didn't have any more. So I decided to give myself a win and get my hair done. What do you think? People, I know, and my phone is broken as well. But we'll see. Anyways, I was going to record a TikTok and get my makeup done, but bitches ruin it. You know, I get into an argument and then I get emotional because I'm sick and I'm frustrated and I'm tired. You know, I haven't slept, which I usually don't, but like I don't, like now I haven't slept more than ever for some reason, and I'm getting tired. Like I never get tired. It's just like my body gets tired, but not my face. But anyways,
psychodrama, we use role reversals. We use the technique of role reversal to undo the damage of mentally ill families. But I will not go into it right now. In the next few days, I will make a video on transactional analysis and so on and so forth. There is a video on role reversal and doubling in psychodrama, techniques that I am well acquainted with. And in my counseling, I advise my clients to use, especially the more recalcitrant clients, the more difficult clients. The members of mentally ill families are ego dystonic. They're unhappy. They're anhedonic, unable to experience true pleasure. They're depressed. They're anxious. They're even suicidal or entertain suicidal ideation. They're always eager to flee the confines of the family and never look back. I'm mentioning this because these are the easiest signs to spot. If you see...
Obviously, my mom has said this multiple times. Ooh, what if I just die right here? No. And, you know, her walking out like she's the fucking teenager. Like, get out of my face, bro. And I remember, like, me sending a text to my mom, like, over school bullshit, and I was angry at my teacher at that time, literally, like, last semester, you know, that I walked out because she was lying. So I accidentally said fuck because I was on the phone with my mom, because if I walked out of class, I wanted to tell my mom instead of her, like, my teacher telling her that I walked out of the class. So I said fuck, and then she instantly goes off on me. She's like, why would you say that, like, in front of your mom? Like, do you not know your place? And I'm like, do you not see that I'm like angry and emotional right now? And instead of the real problem, and obviously I slip up, you choose to sit there and make it about you and say you don't say that in front of your mom. Bitch, fuck you, honestly. So I was like, okay, I see what really it is, okay? You actually don't care about me. You just care how it looks to you to make you care about me. So I remember that day, I'm like, mentioned, I was like, just to see how she would say, which I never do this. I would never commit suicide on the Holy Grail. No. But I was like, I'm gonna commit suicide. And she was like, don't blame that on me. I was like, wow, you know, again, like, if my child never would be my child. Never me and my child going through this. It's not because I've seen it and I just don't want my child to experience what I experienced. It's just like, as a real mother, real family, you don't do this to your related family blood member or your daughter or your sister. You don't do that to them. It's just common sense. I don't have to experience the worst, which is living in this house, and know the difference between, like, treating someone that's wrong, or my own kid or my own sister, or whatever the case may be, family, whatever. That's already, like, I wouldn't do that. But people's priorities are fucked up. But
children who are perpetually unhappy, who can't be aroused by any type of pleasure, who are visibly depressed and anxious, who talk about death and suicide frequently. If you come across adolescents or young adults who just run away as far as possible and as soon as they can from their family is probably mentally ill. And finally, I mentioned at the very beginning that mentally ill families create mentally ill people. The mentally ill family reifies insecure attachment styles and mental health issues. When you talk to outside observers, they would tend to characterize mentally ill families in single phrases. They would discuss mentally ill families as if they were mentally ill individuals, a single organism. So when you talk to the neighbors of mentally ill families, to teachers, to social workers, they all refer to the mentally ill family as if it were a single person. They say they are all so dour and depressing, or they say this family is grandiose, or reticent, or aggressive, or hateful, or boring, or stupid, or whatever. Mentally ill families come across as the embodiment of some kind of mental dysfunction. These are the 13 signs of mentally ill families. Score your own family. And again, if you score 6, something is seriously wrong with your family. If you score 10 and more, go no contact.
I probably score more. Because I didn't even understand two of those ones. Just being around my family for a couple hours literally makes me feel like I'm being poured into quicksand. Like, literally, I hate being around my family. Like, people that I live with. Like, first, like, getting ready to go to an event, like, they take the longest. So I have to, like, slow down. And I'm a quick person because of them. You know, I move quickly because how they move so slow, you know? So, like, it take something that could have been done in, like, 30 minutes. Or 20. It takes 3 hours. And then they get mad at me. And we're always late to, like, I don't know, like, wherever we go, like, shopping or the movies. Because of my mom, my sister, or whoever. That is not me. Right? It's not me. Because I like to prepare, you know? So, like, you know, and then when I'm out in public, I can't be, like, free. Like, I'm not allowed to do certain things. But I'm, like, not 12 years old. Like, they got a problem with me using the bathroom. Now, yeah, I do use the bathroom a lot. Maybe, like, 4 times while I'm out in public. Because I do drink a lot. And my bladder is weak. Because of that. So, like, I'm not allowed to do this. I'm not allowed to... And they don't even be waiting on me, and that's crazy. This is the family I grew up in. I'm a scapegoat. Okay. My family scored 11 out of 13. I'm already got no contact. I wish, bro. Because I don't want to call somebody, or I don't, you know, because I love this fucking room. Like, you know, I put so much pride in it, and, you know, and there's, like, I could go, but I don't want to. And it's not because, like, you know, the reasons that you think, you know. Because it takes me a lot to get comfortable in something. So in my room, I was comfortable, not in the way that I used to when I put all that shit on my walls. And then I'm feeling like me, and my room makes me feel like me. And my family just fuck it up. And it's just like, bro, I need to go, but, like, hey. My mom thought it was cute when I came home with books on medicine at 8. What? My family has all the 13 signs, and I don't live with them anymore. Obviously. My family, mom and siblings, scored all 13. I was abandoned by the whole family for good earlier years than my mom was. I finally let them in 22. This helps me feel better. I wish this was me. Which it will be me soon, but... And it's just so... Because I know I'm not the only one. I know you got problems, don't you? Don't you got problems with your family? And that's the whole reason why I'm talking about this. You know? Because I know I'm not the only one. And I shouldn't have to be ashamed of what others done to me, right? And people say, without those kind of people, I wouldn't be the person I am today. No. If I didn't have those people, you know who I would be? A fucking superhero. But my dreams are constantly crushed by the people around me. Okay? So now I have to, like, come off as a certain way. Even though I don't really want to. So people don't fuck with me. So if I didn't have contact with these bitches, I would have been so much happier, and I wouldn't have constant doubt, which does help me. But, like, you don't want to have constant doubt on everything you fucking do, bitch. It's so annoying. Right? Even though you're right on a bunch of things you don't. Like, don't trust this motherfucker. And then you're right, and you're like, damn you know? But yeah, I will post this because I don't give a fuck. Like, I've been through too much to sit there and be like, like, I don't want people to see me as this. I mean, if you see me as, like, the only thing that people probably going to see me as is probably, like, a victim. I don't know, maybe. But I don't really like to classify myself as that because victims, I don't want to say victims sit there and let it happen and don't do anything, but they sit there and let it happen without doing anything. And this is not, like, trying to be mean or anything, right? I don't like that because I've actually fought. Maybe to sit there and gain nothing, but I still fight for myself, and I haven't been down in a long time, but not in a long time too. So saying this, it's like also looking at it looks like that I'm like really depressed or like which is not true. I'm probably numbed to it all. And why do my eyes look fucking dead? Like whenever I look back on my videos and I'm like, why the fuck am I staring like that? Because I don't look like, I do look at myself 24/7, but I don't really look at my eyes. Like I just look creepy. But you probably didn't realize that. But anyways, so I'm saying this, if you relate to me, give a like on this video. Comment down below if you're a hoe. And when I get out of this family and never speak to them again, and I be making millions being an OnlyFans star, I was just a joke, never that. And I just want to sit there and be like, bitch, fuck you. Fuck you and everything you stand for, you dirty ass bitch. All you did was bring me down instead of bringing me up, and I will never ever do that to somebody. Bye.